Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to J Wall Sports. We are back here with another episode.
Another one. Hey, Pistol,
This,
wide receiver, hit my line. Hit my line.
what is up with you in this? When you bench your seasoned veteran quarterback this late in the season, it's sending a message to the team.
Then goes out, and now they want to play with some heart. They want to play with some effort.
I see why Doc got fired. If you're not gonna make the adjustments as a coach, you need to go up and get up out of here.
Wentz has regressed, and it's a mental. I mean,
Disclaimer: he might have some outrageous, Max Kellerman type, things to say today. I don't know what he's gonna say, but the way he's starting off this video is giving me them vibes.
Good evening, everybody. Appreciate you for tuning in. We have another exciting episode for you guys. So, this weekend, the Ravens lost to the Buffalo Bills. It was a very lopsided play. The Ravens were only able to score 3 points. Who would you give most of the blame to, the offense or the defense?
I'm gonna have to go with the offense, man. I mean, even though they were able to run for like 150 some yards, I mean, the offense wasn't producing. I mean, granted, they did miss 2 field goals that really hurt them. But other than that, I mean, the offense really didn't produce. It was 3-3 at halftime, and Buffalo came down and scored. And I was like, okay, Baltimore got to respond. They haven't looked too good, and they did. They got down into the red zone, and that's when that pick six happened, and just when everything went downhill after that. I mean, I got to give it on the offense. They ran 73 plays compared to the Bills 55, and only ended up with 3 points for the whole game.
Yeah, that's one of the points I had, and my thing was like when you looked at this game on paper, besides like the final score, it looks like a track race. Like when you run the 200, you got to hit the little curb first, and then you hit the straightaway. And once you hit that straightaway, you start seeing, everybody starts to line up, and you can really see who's in the lead. And that's the case with the Ravens team because they were in the lead for every category that really matters for you to win the game. They won the time of possession 35-24. They had 340 total yards of offense compared to the Bills 220. They had 19 first downs compared to the Bills 17, and like you said earlier, they had a total of 73 plays compared to the Bills 55. Now, when I looked at it and I saw the differences is where the red zone is, the Rams are 1-2 at the red zone, and they got the score from the defense on the pick six, but the Ravens went 0-3 in the red zone, and that was a problem, and they need to find a way to score in the red zone and get better in that area if they want to make it to the Super Bowl and win.
I agree. I mean, like we said in the episode before, like Lamar Arm's gonna have to do a little bit more if they want to do something.
Right. And at this point, I'm starting not to be so sold on Hollywood Brown. So I'm going to say the Ravens, they need to get a true number one receiver.
I agree.
I think them having a number one receiver is going to be the big difference. Like if you take a look at Josh Allen last year before he got Stephon Diggs, he threw for 3,000 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. But when he got Stephon Diggs, a true number one receiver, he threw for 4,500 yards, 37 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. And it's not just your young quarterbacks that are in need of a true number one receiver. Tom Brady also benefited from having a true number one receiver. In 2006, he threw for 3,500 yards, 24 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. His leading receiver on that team only has 706 yards. Then, I'm sorry, that was in 2006. Then in 2007, when he got Randy Moss, he threw for 4,800 yards, 50 touchdowns, and and 8 interceptions. So it's not just your young quarterbacks that are going to need a valuable receiver who can get open whenever you need to. Because a lot of the times Hollywood, he gets open, but it takes him too long to get open. After this time, Lamar needs to scramble, and he has to try to find somebody else, or he just takes the sack. And that was the same thing with Josh Allen last year. We saw Josh Allen scramble a lot more because receivers weren't getting open. And now this year, he we don't see him scramble as much because he has Stephon Diggs, which when your defense focuses on that number one receiver, that opens everybody else. Now, I still think Hollywood is a good receiver. I just think, he needs more time to grow, and he needs, yeah, more time to grow and develop and understand, how the NFL defense is going to play against him, the physicality of it, and then another number one receiver next to him will allow him to have a bigger impact on this Ravens offense.
Good take. Good take.
Appreciate it. I did my homework.
I see.
And so if the Ravens could go get another receiver, do you think they should make a trade, or you think they should try to develop somebody in the draft?
I say both.
Both. Yeah.
Trade to get somebody. That way, it could be someone older. You trade for somebody older, maybe trade a draft pick for him. That way, you have a veteran leadership that can teach the younger wide receivers, that can give Hollywood that experience that he does need. Also, we're training up another wide receiver from the draft that could be the two, and maybe Hollywood can become the three, because Hollywood's kind of that speed wide receiver, so you can have him in the slot maybe. But yeah, I'll say trade for older kind of receiver, draft someone new who can eventually hit that one spot and see where things go, because they want to win now.
Yes.
And they have all the opportunity to. So I believe trade would do good.
Now, I asked you this question to see if you was gonna pay attention, because I sort of tricked you. Now, personally, I think they should utilize that man they got on the sideline a lot more, and I mean Dez Bryant.
It's Bryant.
Yeah, I think if they utilized him a lot more, because he at one point with Dallas Cowboys he was the number one receiver, and so if they could utilize him a lot more and have him in a bigger role where he puts more of an impact on the game. So now teams are starting to gear their their coverages towards Dez Bryant. I feel like that'll open Hollywood Brown up, and then they could go get them another receiver, a rookie, and they can try to develop him, get him in early, develop him, let him and Lamar get a good connection, a good feel for each other. And I think that might be able to help the Rams. Not the Rams. I've been saying the Rams like 5 times, but the Ravens.
So I'm gonna let you slide.
Yeah, I've been catching myself. The Ravens be a better team and maybe a Super Bowl contending team. And so this weekend, the Cleveland Browns lost to the Kansas City Chiefs as they were unable to stop backup quarterback Chad Henne, who was in for the injured Patrick Mahomes in the last 2 minutes, from getting only 2 first downs. But Baker Mayfield did have an outstanding performance by throwing for 204 yards, completing 1 touchdown and throwing 1 interception. After, Cleveland's head coach Kevin Stefanski, he said, "I think we established our identity this season, and they are glad to be moving forward with Baker Mayfield and the progress he has made." So, do you think that Baker Mayfield is the future quarterback for this Cleveland Browns?
Yes. I mean, he went out there and proved himself this year. He got the team to the playoffs where they haven't been since 2002, 2003. Mm-hmm. And then they actually won a playoff game. I mean, granted, Pittsburgh looked terrible, but the Browns did their part.
Terrible is an understatement, but continue.
I mean, they throw the terrible towels up, so I was kind of playing words. So.
I feel you.
Oh, yeah, I do my research too.
I see.
But I do believe He's a franchise quarterback. He came out first half was kind of slow, but that second half, the whole team looked good, and he looked good the second half. He made a lot of great passes into some tight windows that kept the drive going for the Browns. I mean
Yeah,
that related
go
to
ahead.
points in the second half.
Yeah, his accuracy really surprised me. I was very pleased. I see the growth that he's had. That year 2 to year 3 growth for him has been really good.
Yeah, he made I believe I believe it was first half or beginning second half. They was driving in the red zone, fourth and fourth and three, something like that. He rolled out to his right, made a tight pass to the tight end Hooper for the first down, which led to a touchdown a couple plays later.
Yeah.
So I was just like, those kind of plays keep the team in the game, which it did, and they gave him a chance to win.
Yeah. My thing about it is I like how when they had the big games, he showed up. Now, when you look at it, progressively, he got better throughout the year. He took a couple L's, in those big games, but he still put up good numbers. For instance, week 4 against the Cowboys, this is when they still had Dak. He threw for 165. He had 2 touchdowns, and they won that game 49-38. In week 5 against the Colts, he threw for 247, 2 touchdowns. He had 2 interceptions, but they still were able to come out with the win 23-32. Then they played the Titans in week 13, and that's when he went crazy. He threw for 334 yards, had 4 touchdowns, and put up 41 points on them. Then he went to the Ravens, and they lost this game, but he had 343 yards. He had 2 touchdowns. He threw an interception. And then we know what he did against the Steelers in a wild card game. I'm not gonna talk about that because that Steelers team was terrible, but he played good. But the game I really wanted to highlight was that game against the Chiefs. He threw for 204 yards. He had 1 touchdown, 1 interception, but the score is what I wanted to focus on. They lost 17-22. Like that, they're 1 touchdown away. They're and that's the thing with a lot of the games that he's lost against these top playoff teams. He's only 1 touchdown away, 1 play away. They not making a better decision here or there has been the difference in the game, and I can live with that. Knowing that my future quarterback is 1 decision away from us. From being a wild card team to being a divisional leader team.
And that one play in the Kansas City game was that fumble going stretching out.
Yeah, that was crazy. As
The
soon as I seen that,
Smith's helmet to helmet, but we ain't gonna talk about it.
yeah, they did miss the helmet, but the whole breakdown is crazy because I was like, oh, that's still in bounds. Oh, that rolled out of bounds. How are they supposed to play that? Like, I was very curious to see how it was gonna play out, and as soon as that happened, you could tell that was a difference maker in the game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then a lot of people have been saying that Baker has been a little starstruck with OBJ being his top receiver so early. And now I didn't agree with it so much, but now that he's had a chance, to be a top player on that team, without OBJ, I'm curious to see, how the adding OBJ back and if he's going to be the same kind of player, with after this injury. But but him being on this team, I think it would have opened up the offense a lot more, especially with those two backs they got. And them boys, they just be running that thing. I don't even know what to say about them.
Hey, and they be running. And the defense looked really good too against Kansas City. Held them to
Oh yes,
22. I mean, got
yeah,
them off the field with 3 points, and that's how you got to beat Kansas. That's how you got to play to beat Kansas City.
yeah. Now I feel like on that drive, my man Patrick Mahomes, he was gonna put 7 on that board, but he came out with the injury. So,
Hey, it's all about the first half because they had multiple chances to be up 3 scores, and the Browns defense got them off the field, made them kick three,
right. And for them to
and
have
then they
as
missed a
fast,
field goal as well too.
yeah,
Kansas City did.
but for them to have as a fast start as they did, coming off that bye week, Patrick Mahomes didn't even play in week 17. A lot of the players didn't play in week 17. But for them to come off that bye week and then not the bye week, but the week 17 and then the bye week, and then come out with the start that they had, I had nothing but high hope for that second half. Is that first half, it's just like just getting your feet wet before you get in a cold pool. Then like once you jump into it, like you good. I think that second half was going to be really big, and I thought they were going to pull away at that point.
Yeah, but the Browns responded, and then you know what happened at the end of the third. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's all crazy, but I'm very excited for the future that the Browns are going to have,
oh
and
yeah, watch out,
yeah,
league. Watch out.
yeah, and then they put little Corvette on notice too, so that's gonna be interesting next semester. Not next semester,
Yeah,
next season.
I was
Jeez,
gonna
I
let
don't
you. I
even
was
go
gonna
to
let you. I
class
was
no
gonna
more.
let you slide. I was gonna
I
let you
can't even let
slide.
myself slide no more. I'm pretty much done with school. I can't be talking about semesters no more. I don't even gotta take no class. I don't even go back on campus. That's how done I am with school at this point.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah. So the Bucks, the New Orleans, they matched up for the third time this season. Tampa Bay defeated them 30-20. Tom Brady was 18 for 33 for 199 yards while completing 2 touchdowns. Drew Brees was 19 for 34, throwing for 134 yards, 1 touchdown, and 3 interceptions. Could this be the last time we see Drew Brees in NFL uniform?
I believe so. I don't think he wanna. I don't want to say. I don't think he want to come back, but I don't think he can make it another full year.
Yeah, I think.
Playing his best. I don't think he can. I don't think he can do it.
Yeah, I think his I think his body, I don't think his body can hold up anymore, because
My mind's telling me yes.
because this season he played 12 games. The last season he only played 11 games, and the last time that he's played that few games was in 2003. So it's obvious that his body can't hold up, and I think it's time, and his total yards, they went down significantly. He threw for 2,942 yards, and last time he did that in 2003 was 2,108 yards. So he's going
That was
back
his
to
rookie
like
year, right? Rookie.
that was like 2 years after his rookie year. So that was like year 3. So you know,
Yeah, it was a bad way to go out,
yeah,
given his performance, 3 interceptions, and not really.
yeah, but like overall, he didn't play. He hasn't played bad at all this season. It's just from the eye test, we're used to Drew Brees being a lot more accurate. It's a lot of times where Drew Brees makes a throw and it's too low, it's too high to the left or to the right, and you can see him just grimace over there, like, man, like 2-3 years ago, that's we taking that to the house for a 60-yard run, or we're getting that first down easily. He's not being able to make those throws no more. And also, I would love to see Jameis Winston in his offense with them having a mobile quarterback.
Yeah, since he got his outfits, he was 30 for 30 last season. No,
Right.
no story.
And I don't think Jameis Winston is look well now looking at Tom Brady and the Bucks offense, and then comparing that to Jameis Winston. I know it's like a bad comparison, but I think a lot of the turnovers that he had was because of Bruce Arians' offense, because how he likes to throw the ball down the field, and Jameis, he grew up in that system. So when you grow up in that system, it's you get a lot more relaxed in there, and then decision making is never that good. Now that he's had a year under Drew Brees, I think decision making will be a lot better. And Sean Payton's not really throw down the field, throw down the field. We want less turnovers, more accurate. Dink and dunk sometimes. But I think being under him is going to be really good, and I'm excited to see it. Yeah, extremely excited.
Yeah. Now that you said that, I never thought about it like that, but yeah, I think that'd be good for Jameis in his career too. This playing that style of game that if he does play in New Orleans, that style of
Yeah,
play that New Orleans plays is. I mean, look at Drew
yeah.
Brees. He's been playing
That's what
here
I was
for.
about to say. When he went from the Rams to the Saints, his career took off. And if Jameis Winston career takes off and he has somewhat of a career like Drew Brees, I feel I feel that is gonna make um shoot, I forgot that coach name, but I feel like it's gonna make the head coach,
Sean
that
Payton.
yeah, Sean Payton. I was thinking Sean, but I wanted to say McVay, and I know that's not right. But
No,
that's gonna make Sean Payton's, like his value as a head coach shoot through the roof. He'll probably be known as the quarterback saver. But moving on, this weekend we got an exciting matchup. We got Tom
Ooh,
Brady versus Aaron Rodgers going at it. The first time Aaron Rodgers is going to have a conference championship game in his house. But there's been a lot of debate among, the Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers talk, who's a better player. So we're going to discuss that. So which player is more valuable to their team?
Rodgers, my boy. I ain't want to say I called the MVP this year, but I did.
Nah, I still don't think he's going to get MVP, but, go ahead.
But I went with Tom.
You went
Based
with
on the
Tom Brady?
question, based on the question, more valuable, yes.
Wow. I was gonna go with Aaron Rodgers, but I really wanted to argue with you, so I really made a case for Tom Brady. But go ahead.
I
I'm curious to
mean,
hear
think about
this.
it. The Bucks went 79 last year.
Wow, and you
Now they're
used the
11.
same argument as me. Go ahead. This is
They went
crazy.
11-5 this year for a chance to go to the Super Bowl. It's basically the same team from last year, but you had Tom Brady, Gronk, and Leonard Fournette. Only one of those pieces held the most weight, and that's Tom Brady. That's the quarterback. And I mean, that's what you expect from a quarterback with what, 6 rings, I believe? 6?
Yeah, he got 6 rings.
That's what you expect from the quarterback that you seen go to the playoffs every year. That's taking the Patriots with basically no wide receivers a couple years ago to a Super Bowl. So, I mean, the argument's right there.
I'm lucky mad at you.
And thing is, I typed Aaron Rodgers at first. I really had to think about it. I was just like, it's a different team. It's a different team.
I'm lucky mad at you. I really had a great argument. I'm still gonna go through my argument, but I had a great argument. I really feel like it was just gonna stump you. But you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and break it down for you. I want you to
So
pay
that's why you
attention.
said I was gonna take that L.
Yeah. Hey, this art. Look, once you hear it, you gonna like
Boy,
it.
pray to my downfall.
I'm praying you down for, but I just know when I got a fire tape. So I want you to pay attention. It's real methodical. But you're gonna follow with me. So, like you said, the 2019 Tampa Bay Bucks, they were 9-7, and this year they are 11-5. But statistically, it is really not that big of a difference. But that's not the kind of impact that Tom Brady, puts on the team. And it's like, when you have an ex-girlfriend and then you go to a new girlfriend. I'm gonna break it down for you. So your ex-girlfriend, she could cook, she could clean, she could help pay the bills, but she could be inconsistent, and not take initiative to fix the little things around the crib. say the dishwasher goes down. As soon as you come in the house, you come in from work, long, hard day at work, she just run up to you like, babe, the dishwasher broke. I'm tired. I don't want to do dishes. I've been working all day. You've been working all day. I cooked. What we going to do, And now she adding more stuff on your plate. Now, and when you add more stuff on your plate on top of the stuff you already got to think about, you're already doing, that adds more pressure. And this is what I mean. So last year, they averaged 28.6 points a game, and that was fourth in the league. This year, they averaging 30 a game, and that's third in the league. Last year in total yards, they were third in the league. This year in total yards, they are seventh in the league. Last year, they were fifth in first downs. This year, they're 11th in first downs. Last year, they were first in interceptions with 30. This year, they are 17th in the league with 12. Last year, they were third in passing touchdowns and 17th in rushing touchdowns. This year, they're second in passing touchdowns and 18th in rushing touchdowns. And last year, they were 25th in completion and 15th in completion this year. Now, when you switch, you try to work it out with your current girlfriend, right? You try, but things don't always work out. So you move on. And when you move on, you dolo for a while, and then you get your new girlfriend, and things start to feel better. She might do the same thing, that your ex-girlfriend did. She'll cook, she'll clean, she'll pay bills, but she'll take an initiative. That same dishwasher that your ex came in and nagged you about, as soon as you walked in the door, she gonna come at you and be like, babe, oh, the dishwasher went down. I already called the insurance people. It's gonna be somebody out here tomorrow at 3:00. Boom. Now you drawing back. You like, dang, she done took the initiative to go ahead and get all this done, and it's no added stress and no added pressure on my plate. So now you start finding yourself doing things out of the ordinary that you wouldn't even think about doing for your last girlfriend. You might come home with some flowers. You're gonna come home and be like, babe, get dressed. We got dinner plans. You're gonna do all the extra things, to show your appreciation. And now this Bucks team does all the extra things to show their appreciation to Tom, and the little things that he does, such as, motivating them, not throwing as many interceptions, being consistent on the offensive end. Now, especially with the defense, because they don't have to think in their head like, dang, if we don't get this stop, is my offense going to be able to score, And then, if the offense can't score, that's more added pressure. He eases that by being able to score. Now, last year, the Bucks were 28th in points allowed, 29th, I'm sorry, in points allowed. They allowed 28 points a game. That defense allowed 28 points a game. Now, this year, they're 8th, and they only allow 22 points a game. And that's a whole touchdown less. And that it makes it easier for the defense to, to give that extra push, to fight a little bit longer, to do the little things, hey, if I move this way, can I get to the quarterback? If I move that way, can I get to the quarterback? Even on the offense, hey, if I block like this, can I protect Tom just a little bit longer for us to get the ball out? So that's the added value that Tom has, it's the mental. He helps their mental be better. And now this team is able to perform better, and you see that now because they're possibly one game away from being in the Super Bowl.
I'm upset, and I was on the same side as you. Hey, let me ask this over here, man. You good, man? Who hurt you, dog?
Oh, ain't nobody hurt me. I just be trying to think of ways to relate to the people.
Okay. I had to do wellness check. You did?
Yeah, that's how all my takes have been. I've been trying to relate to the people.
That was
appreciate it.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. But
he tried to set me up though. You saw that, he tried to set me up, which I don't like. We're gonna talk about it on camera though.
I didn't even try to set you up. I made my points this afternoon. Like I made that point at 3:00 today before I even made the topic.
I was at work at 3:00. Channel. I was at work.
Hey, I was working today too.
Not at 3:00.
Actually, I was. I finished at like 3:50. I finished my work at like 3:15. Then I moved on to this.
I was still on the clock.
That's a personal problem. Should have got your work done faster. But with that being said, they still got to play this weekend. It's still a head-to-head matchup, and they did play against each other in week 6,
Indeed, indeed.
and it was a very lopsided victory in week 6. Tampa Bay won that game. So do you think it's going to be different? No, excuse me. Do you think it's going to be different this upcoming weekend?
Yes, it's not going to be lopsided. I'm not 100% sure who's going to win yet, but I do believe Green Bay is going to run the ball a little bit more with Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon.
Right.
It's going to be interesting to see how the Packers defense matches up with the Bucks weapons and Evans, Godwin, and the tight ends and Gronk. I don't know. The Bucks offense has got flowing. They found their identity. They have a run game now too, which is makes it a lot easier on Tom to pass the ball. So somebody
And
gonna win. I'm gonna say 27-24 Packers.
wow, you calling a score? Wow, you just added some pressure on me because now I gotta call out a score too. But it's all right. It's all right. But that week 6 game for the Packers and for the Tampa Bay, I think that game was like sort of an anomaly. It's a once in a season thing that we're gonna see from Aaron Rodgers, and so far we haven't seen it from Aaron Rodgers. So Aaron Rodgers threw for 201 yards in that week 6 matchup. He was sacked 5 times, threw 2 interceptions. The Tampa Bay defense scored 2 times, and they were allowed. The Tampa Bay defense got 21 first downs compared to Green Bay's 12 first downs. Right. Since then, this Packers led Aaron Rodgers team, they've thrown for 240 yards a game. They haven't even come close to a 201-yard game. They've scored 29 points per game ever since then. He's only thrown 3 interceptions since that day, and he threw 2 interceptions. He threw 1 interception that game, and he had a fumble, and he had a loss. He lost it one time. No, the Tampa Bay defense hasn't scored at all since that game, and that game where Aaron Rodgers was sacked 5 times, he's only been sacked more than 3 times, 1 out of the 10 games after that game. And then the defense for that Green Bay defense is only allowed 10 points, an average of 10 points after that. So I think this Green Bay team is going to come out and they're going to attack. They're taking it personal at this point, because a lot of people are talking about that week 6 game and how it was such an upset. And Aaron Rodgers, he even talked about it. He said, he used the Tampa Bay's last game against the Saints. He was like, Tampa Bay, they lost to the Saints 2 times in a row, and it won't pretty 2 times in a row. And then they beat him the 3rd time. So I'm not worried. I don't even look at that week 6 loss. And he's not worried, which makes me more confident in how he's gonna play. So I'm gonna take Green Bay to win this game, and I'm gonna say it's gonna be 30 to 17. Green Bay.
30-17.
Yeah. Hey, man, this defense has really picked it up since that loss, and they're really good. Their run defense is good, so I don't think that the run game for Tampa Bay is gonna be as good as we've seen in the past. And I know this team, they got ran on a lot earlier, but they were 13th on rushing. They only allowed 112 rushing yards a game. And, so the run defense has gotten better. And out of the 6 playoff teams that played during the regular season, only 4 teams have only rushed for more than 150. And I don't see this Tampa Bay offense being a threat to run for more than 160 yards. So I think Yeah, 30 to 17.
Okay, I'm glad we're on the same page.
Hey man, I don't think we've had one disagreement this entire time.
No, no, no. New year, man. I guess.
Hey man, it's all right. I hope we disagree on this one at least. It's not gonna be no fun if we keep agreeing on everything. But man, so Buffalo has made it to the conference game. Kansas City back at it again. Hopefully, my man Patrick Mahomes is ready. And I got some stuff on that. We'll get to Patrick Mahomes in a second. I'll break everything down for the people. But man, looking at this team, they are so identical in so many ways. Like this team, defense and offensively, like rushing yards, I was about to say Tampa Bay. The Chiefs are sixth. Chiefs are 16th in rushing yards. I'm sorry, and with 112 yards a game. Now the Bills are 20th with 106 yards a game. And total offensive allowed, the Chiefs are number one with 415, and the Bills are right behind them with 396. So I don't even know if this is going to be a high offensive game, because if you go look on the defensive end, total yards allowed, the Chiefs allowed 358 while the Bills only allowed 352. And in the run defense, the Chiefs allow 122 while the Bills allow 120. And in the pass defense, the Chiefs allow 236 while the Bills are only allowing 232. Everything is close. I don't even know. I know which way I'm swaying because I ain't betting against Patrick Mahomes. Hopefully he plays, but that depends on if Patrick Mahomes plays. I'm going for the Chiefs. If Patrick Mahomes don't play, I don't even know. It's gonna be wild.
Ah, yeah. I was looking at the numbers too. I was like, this is a close matchup. If Mahomes plays, I don't believe he'll be 100%. I know they were saying during the Browns game he was limping a little bit, something with his toe maybe.
Yeah,
So even if he does play, I don't think he'll be 100%. He'll give it a shot for sure. I know he will, but I think you see a little less scramble plays from him. Some of the
I
Mahomes magic,
I
a
mean,
little less.
in that Browns game, if he got to run, he gonna run because he did have that. I think it was a third down, and it was. I think it was like the play or player two before he got taken out, or it could have been a drive before he got taken out. But he had to run 10 yards for the first down. It looked ugly as could be, but he made it.
Yeah, but I don't think he's gonna do that consistently for 4 quarters.
Hey
I,
man.
and especially because Clyde Edwards-Helaire, yeah, that's how you pronounce the name. The
Mm-hmm.
first game rushed from 161 against the Bills in week 6 in that win. Now he is questionable, but I do believe it's going to be run heavy again if they can have the same success he did in week 6 against the Bills, in which they won. And also that keeps Mahomes healthy if they did have a chance to, playing for
Yeah.
another chance to play in the Super Bowl, another chance to win. So I believe run heavy, a little more than you expect for Mahomes' safety. I mean, that is their quarterback of the
Yeah.
future for a
Yeah.
long time, man.
Yeah. That boy on that 10-year contract.
Yeah, exactly. But I believe the Bills, if they want to win this game, they're gonna have to run the ball more. I'm not I'm not gonna have Allen throwing Allen's arm for 4 quarters because that Bills Ravens game, I'm just like, are they gonna run the ball at all?
Yeah.
And it's gonna come down to the defense. Whose defense gonna get a stop?
Yeah, most definitely. And I think the run game is going to be the difference maker in this
For
game.
either team.
Yeah, for either team, because I like how last game against the Browns, who are the ninth in rushing defense, and for the regular season, they the Chiefs made it an initiative that we're going to run this ball and then we're going to kill y'all in a throwing game because now you're worried about us running the ball. And Patrick Mahomes, he only had 3 rushes for 14 yards. And one of them was that big rush that he had for that 10-yard run to get the first down. and they rushed for a total of 123 yards. So I think they are getting better at finding and establishing the run game, especially if Le'Veon Bell is able to play this game. I know right now he's questionable. Yeah, so if he can play this game, it's going to be really good. If Sammy Watkins is not questionable with that calf injury, I think that is going to help a lot more. Spread that Rams defense out, because our
I don't know
I
why you
have
been saying the Rams all day, bro.
oh my god, this is the Bills. They're going to spread that Bills defense out, and it's going to be too many pieces for them to try to guard, because you're gonna have Tyreek Hill, who's always a deep threat, and they mix him in the deep. They mix him going for a deep ball in so many different ways. It's crazy. Then if you have Sammy Watkins, that's a threat. And then you have Travis Kelsey, that's a threat. How, and then Le'Veon Bell, if he splits out, and gets the dump down,
Screenplay,
yeah, the screenplay, the dump down
down for the
play, yeah, that's gonna just spread him out, and so this is gonna be very interesting. I don't think Patrick Mahomes had to do a lot of running, and honestly, he didn't do a lot of running against the Browns either. He was very pocket. He was very much a pocket quarterback, and that was interesting to see. I didn't think he had that aspect in him like that.
yeah. Like you said, man, the Bills gonna have to slow down or get a stop. I believe they need to watch a lot of tape from that Browns game where the Browns are able to force Kansas City to kick three. The Bills' offense is more explosive than the Browns, so I believe it's gonna be a little more difficult trying to get the ball down the field, but it's gonna be easier for the Bills than it was for the Browns to get the ball down the field against
Yeah,
the Kansas City defense.
I
I'm gonna
don't
give
know,
you a
man.
prediction on this one too. It's tough because I like rooting for the underdog, so
I
I'm
mean,
be going for the
obviously the
Bills.
Bills are the underdog.
I'm gonna be going for the Bills.
Okay, I mean, this game is really it's crazy because Kevin Stefanski, he's an offensive genius at this point. He he was my coordinator. He was my offensive coordinator for the Vikings. I loved him as an offensive coordinator, and you could tell how much this Viking offense struggled without him. Think about it. We upset the Saints back to back years in the playoffs under Kevin Stefanski. So I think this Chiefs defense is going to be more prepared with having to play the Browns first to try to stop the Bills, and it's going to be a lot easier because that run game is not as prominent. If they can stop that run game, or and not stop it but slow it down, keep them under 100 yards, because really the most of it is Josh Allen. All you need is to keep Josh Allen contained, and that run game is trash, because the last game, they even though they did play against the number 2 defense, the Colts, but the other 2 running backs only ran for 21 yards. Josh Allen ran for 54 yards. So if they can keep Josh Allen contained, I think they will win this game. And a score, I'm going to say this is a low scoring game. I'm going to say 2017, 20-17 in favor
24-17 Bills.
favor of the Chiefs.
24-17.
Okay.
24-17.
Yeah, but hey, appreciate you guys for tuning into the show. That's all we got for you guys today. As always, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, hit the like button, hit the
Yes,
subscription,
sir.
cut the notification bells on. It's gonna be somewhere up here, ding.
Ding. Yes, sir. Yep.
All right. Yes. Well, we'll see you guys next week, and we out.
We out.